Hey everyone, my name is Caleb, and like many of you, I use Notion to plan my personal projects out. The thing is, time and schedules in general are pretty fluid, and they ebb and flow with your moods, your energy levels, how much sleep you got the night before, and several other factors that are difficult to control. One of the annoying limitations with Notion is that if you miss any of your tasks that are part of a project that you kind of, meticulously planned out in Notion, you have to kind of, catch up manually and like kind of move all of these like tasks by hand, or you have to like, catch up on your project. So like you just drag everything onto today and like try and get which is like completely unrealistic, and you should not do that because you'll burn out. But moving your tasks manually is pretty tedious, and it's never a recipe for success when, in order to get back on track with your projects you've committed to, you have to commit like 10 minutes to like manually adjust all these tasks that you've like meticulously planned out. However, now that Notion has these shiny new and improved automations with formulas and variables, there's a lot more that we can do. One of which is build a series of automations that solves this exact problem. So let's say I missed a task, like something came up, or I was just too like freaking tired to work on this project on that specific day. Whatever it is, I have this button where, or these two buttons, I can like shift every single task by 7 days or by 1 day. Or however many days you want to write. It's your automation, and Notion's completely customizable to you. Whatever it is, I have this button set up so I can just click it and it shifts the entire project over so that I can get completely caught up with everything. So all of these tasks are going to move by 7 days, and the entire project moved. So it makes it so that your deadlines can get like automatically adjusted based off of your life circumstances. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make these buttons for yourself, and you can quietly procrastinate in Notion a little bit more fluidly than before. So let's get into it. So I have a projects database that's related to a task database. These are two separate databases. The project database is fairly simple, just some identifiers and a relation to the tasks, and then some stats. The tasks are planned inside the project page, and they show up on my to-do list the days that they're scheduled. So I can plan things here in the calendar and then add more tasks in here. So to make this automation, I'll need to do a little bit of prep work. I'm going to buzz over the task matrix, which is my task database, and add a new number property. So we'll add a new number property. We'll call this number property date shift, but you can call it whatever you want. It's Notion, so. Next, we're going to create our button, and I'm going to do it on this project page. So I have this button here. I'm going to just delete it just so I can show you how to make it. We're going to make this button. We'll call it Shift Tasks 1 day. Next, we want to define a variable. So this is a new Notion feature within the last few weeks, and it's awesome. So in here, you'll want to choose define a variable, and you'll want to create a formula. To my knowledge, you can't add this value as a number unless it's a formula, since it just converts it to rich text. So the formula you'll use is toNumber, and then you'll put a number in here. We're just going to use 1. But you can use any number here, or you could just make a custom formula and have a dynamic number. So hit save, and that's going to be named variable 1. But I'm going to just to say organize, I'm going to call it date shift value, and there we go. We have a variable. So next we'll add the automation piece. For this, you want to use edit pages in, and we're going to choose the task database, so the task matrix here. We're going to make a filter that chooses where the project contains And this project that I have is the e-commerce platform Market Matrix. I'm just going to choose that. Project contains Market Matrix. And then I'll add another rule. We'll do a date filter, and we'll do where the date is not empty. And then we'll add one more for complete is unchecked. For the filters, unfortunately, I can't figure out how to templatize this to where you select, the projects contains, and then it's like this page. Unfortunately, that's like not in here right now. So when you duplicate this button for a different project, you'll have to change the filter. Next, we'll make the button change the date shift property to the date shift value that we defined in the two number formula here. So I'm going to do edit a property, we'll do date shift, and we'll use edit as formula, and we'll just add the date shift value here and hit save. So that's going to set the value to this date shift value, and that's it for this button. So when we're done with that, we can hit done, and then we have our first button. Now we're gonna go over the task matrix and make a new automation that is connected to that button. We can call this automation date shift, and the trigger is going to be when that date shift property is edited. So that is it. When the date shift property is edited, then what we're going to do is we're going to edit a property on the page, and we're going to use a custom formula here. And for this formula, what we're going to do is use a date add, and we'll use the trigger page date, comma, and then we'll use trigger page date shift for the value, and then we will shift in days. And that's it. We'll hit save. So when the date shift is edited, we'll set the date to that formula, and after that, we'll actually want to reset the date shift value. So we'll set the date shift value to empty. So once that's all set up, we'll hit create, and that's it. We have our button. So if I go over to here and go to my task calendar, let's say I want to shift all my tasks over one day, I just click the button and watch the fireworks. Sweet. So now you can join me in procrastinating a little bit easier in Notion. Hope this video was helpful for you and that you learned a little something. Please subscribe if you like this video. I hope you'll be back next time, and I'll see you then.